Welcome back to SA Wine Weekly. This afternoon, today, we are at 919's with the moustache. I know Eric Semmler?
Correct.
Eric, I'm just looking at the moustache. I've got a bit of moustache envy.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a bit to go. I've got a bit to go.
Movember.
Movember, yeah. I'll shave the beard off and I might go for the Eric Semmler style. Might work for us. So thanks heaps for coming on the show.
Pleasure, Nathan.
What an absolutely beautiful setting we've got here. And hopefully it doesn't rain. I can feel a few drops on us.
It's starting to rain.
Already?
Yeah, that's all right, keep going.
Keep going?
Yep.
So we're going to have a nice romantic wine tasting in the rain.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't
You
it?
don't get that opportunity very often.
No, we don't. Not in a picturesque location like this. Vines just behind us. Cellar door in front of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that people can see, but we'll show them a little video of it anyway.
Yes.
So I always get told off for rambling too much at the start because I love to hear about the history of the winery. So
sure.
you tell me a little bit about the history of 919 Wines and I'll crack our first wine.
Absolutely.
Okay? Well,
sounds good, Nathan.
But before the history, tell me what we're drinking.
This is our Vermentino, so an Italian variety that's really well suited to this region.
Yeah.
And just has lovely, crisp, citrusy characters, and it's a beautiful drink to enjoy with fish or light food or chicken salads in the summertime.
Excellent.
So get it nice and cold in the fridge, and it's a beautiful drink for that summer dining experience. We started here in 2002, bought the property. I guess we'd looked around for something for some time, and we were fortunate in being able to purchase this property. So we started planting vines in the summertime, which is not what you usually do. But my wife Jenny made me do it, so this is what has resulted. We've used Mediterranean varieties which suit our hot climate and indeed need some heat to show their best. And that business or that strategy together with our organic certification has worked very well.
So you're organic certified?
Yeah, both the vineyards, this one and the one at Loxton, are organically certified. We do that for sustainability, quality and identity. Our styles will they look a bit different to other styles. They have their own personality, if I can put it that way. And the sustainability part of it works really well. We're really attracted to that. And I'm just really glad that I work in a viticultural environment without some of those other chemicals that are out there these days.
So previous to 919, what was Eric doing? And what was Eric and Jenny doing before that?
We both worked for various wineries through our winemaking career and finished off working for Berri Hardy. Jenny was a quality manager there. I was their Fortified winemaker. And I did 10 years there. I think Jenny did 8 or 9. And then this property, we had started to sell some wine and got some good write-ups. So I left in 2007, Jenny left in 2008, and we both have concentrated on this ever since. 919, our brand comes from the section number of this property where we started, so it identifies our reserve wines with the property they mostly come from.
Yeah.
And that has worked very well for a brand. We've purposely kept our label classy but simple. The curve on the bottom of the label represents our river country, and then we've purposely just kept the graphics on the front quite simple but very recognisable.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to put too much on there.
So let's hop into the Vermentino.
Yeah.
So what am I looking for in this wine? Obviously, it's got a bit of a golden tinge. It's not.
Yeah, just light sort of golden straw.
I probably didn't ask what year we were.
It's 2019.
2019?
Yep. And Vermentino typically has those sort of crisp, citrusy through to green straw characters.
Yeah, it's very nice on the
lemony.
nose.
And as it gets riper, if you make a riper style, it can be quite tropical, even with sort of peach notes coming through. But we like this more crisp style.
Yeah. So that's picking the fruit earlier?
Just picking it a fraction earlier and being really diligent in watching the fruit and getting it at the right time. We generally pick this around towards the end of February when we bring it into the winery and make the wine. So everything is done here at our 919 winery. We have a straw bale building which is very insulative and it's quite flexible in that we can shift things around to make the room for whatever we're doing. So
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
that works well. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's have a taste.
Cheers, Nathan. Yeah.
Oh, it's very crisp.
Very crisp. It's a great food style. As I said, it goes well with chicken salads, which we'll enjoy soon.
Yeah.
Also goes really well with fish dishes, so anything out of the sea. Also Thai food and Japanese food, delicately flavoured foods.
Japanese food.
Yeah, is perfect with Vermentino. Vermentino comes from the south of Italy originally, where it's really hot, Sicily and Corsica, so it's ideal for our climate here and doesn't care about 45-degree days. Handles heat really well and just makes a beautiful style.
It is very crisp and fruity, of course. I can something from the Riverland's got to be a little bit citrusy, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. It's the aroma of the orange blossom.
Oh, that's what it is. I was trying to get that in there somehow, but what an elegant wine.
I like this style because it's a lovely crisp style to enjoy. We have another white called Petit Mansing, and that's a fuller, creamier style.
What do we call it?
Petit Mansing. It's a southern French variety, but I like the crispness of the Vermentino just because it's crunchy and it's really nice to get in your mouth.
So is this a wine that you would enjoy?
Absolutely,
Yeah?
I enjoy
Not
it.
just saying that because you hate it.
No, I'd knock it down with oysters.
Ah, with oysters, right. Hopefully not.
I just heard that you'd had too many oysters over the last few days.
I usually avoid it, but somehow last time I didn't get to avoid it.
Yes.
But Adriana thought it was funny while I was having the oysters, so I made her have one too.
Oh, I see.
So we got some good footage.
Yeah.
All right, let's. What are we going to pair with it, food-wise?
Well, my
Something white meat.
Jenny has made a chicken salad, and I believe it has some really nice lemon myrtle oil on it, olive oil on it, which has been locally prepared at Paringa.
Okay.
So
Lemon myrtle.
it should be really nice.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see
Come on,
how
Jenny.
the Vermentino
Come on.
goes with it.
Don't be scared. Thank you.
I'm shy.
Oh, it doesn't matter. That looks delicious.
Thank you.
So we got a chicken salad with lemon myrtle,
Myrtle.
olive oil
Olive oil.
from.
The Riverland.
Of course.
So the lemon myrtle oil is from Paringa, which is just up the road. The olive oil is from a neighbour. The lemon that is in there is from here, as is the honey. So we've grown the honey ourselves. So.
Awesome. All right, let's have a taste.
Yeah, let's go.
And then what we love to do on this show too is talk about we've had a little taste of the wine, then we have a taste of the food, and see what the difference in the wine is after we've eaten. Well, that just complements it beautifully, doesn't it?
Perfect match, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like the aromas of the citrus perfume with the lemon oil or the lemon myrtle oil.
Yeah, I was going to say the lemon and the honey really brings out the flavour of the wine as well.
Yeah. That's
Or maybe vice versa. The wine's bringing out the lemon and...
They complement each other.
Yeah.
One of the things I enjoy, well, with our range of styles of wines that we make, Jenny and I love making wine that goes well with food. So all of our wines are really suited to matching with various types of food for various occasions. And we've always enjoying wine with good food, good friends or good company, and good wine. If you got those three things right, it's a magic moment. They're experiences that you remember, and they can be special times. If you get one of those wrong, it's a disaster.
True.
Yeah, but
so we got the food and the wine right.
Yes, and
we're
the
building the
company
friendship.
too. We're working on the
friendship. A few more wines, we might be all right.
That's right.
But awesome wine and great food pairing. Now we've got to tell people that whilst they're watching this show,
Yes.
we have to tell people whilst they're watching this show that they actually have a chance to win these wines.
They do.
So all they need to do is comment,
Yes.
and we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and they can comment on either of those videos, and they have a chance to go in the draw to winning these amazing wines.
Yeah.
So what a great show.
If I was watching the clip, I would go for it.
Yeah,
Nathan.
wouldn't you? I'd be going for the Vermentino straight away, and then getting the wife to whip me up a chicken salad to go with it.
That's right.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll make a chef out of you before you know it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need some of that oil, I think, to take home, because that is delicious.
Actually, there's a lot of intriguing and innovative and just high quality products around the Riverland at the moment, from oils to fruits, nuts, of course all your citrus products, and then we have a wide range of wines which are available too.
Yeah.
We've got spirits, we've got good beer,
Yeah,
a good brewer in
you
the
got
region, and great coffee.
a great coffee roaster.
Yeah.
a great,
So
a
we're
great
blessed
brewery.
in many ways, really, and this really is a powerhouse of food and beverage production, this region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to come back for the Riverland Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah, well, that's typically held early or second weekend of October.
Yeah, wow.
So keep that in mind.
I got it in the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it in the calendar.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it went
that's
pretty well this year, didn't it?
It was wonderful.
Different format, but-
because of COVID, they put it out amongst the wineries and different venues, and that has worked really well. People really appreciated getting that holistic experience of the region, going
Yeah.
out into the region, and of course you get those differences from venue to enjoy and to soak up, and beautiful products.
Yeah. Do you think they might even think about keeping that format?
I know a number of producers will be pushing to keep that format because it does give people a holistic experience of our region, and that's what we want for tourism.
Oh, definitely. They get to come and see this,
Yes, that's right.
which we
and then
don't take for granted. We really enjoy coming to the cellar door, meeting the winemakers, seeing the winery, and it's such an education.
Yeah.
Everybody's, and I thought about it to myself, the Riverland obviously being a lot hotter, and then we've learned a lot about Italian varieties on the show.
That's right.
And I had a little inkling that we might have had Italian varieties up in the Riverland.
Yeah.
They're a perfect fit, aren't they?
It is, and it's interesting at the moment. There are a lot of new varieties being trialled in the Riverland by various producers, which are suited to hot regions. So, going forward into the future, wine lovers can look forward to being able to try varieties that haven't been commercially established in Australia before.
Elaborate.
And particularly out of this region. We just had the Riverland Wine Show just several weeks ago, and the real winners in that show were new varieties, which had mostly come from Mediterranean areas. And some of the producers are just making wonderful wines now.
And what sort of varieties are we talking?
Oh, whites and reds, so things like Touriga, things like Pinot Gris. We had some beautiful Pinot Gris, Verdeo, and a whole range of things. Portuguese varieties, Spanish varieties, Italian varieties.
What was the Riverland?
Saperavi.
What was the Riverland wine industry built on? What varieties was it there?
Well, traditionally it was the Riverland started as a brandy producer back in the 1920s and 30s. They grew big volume varieties, so Grenache and Doradillo for brandy production, and then brandy sort of went out of fashion into a fortified era.
Yeah.
So through the 50s and 60s, fortifieds were big here. And then as technology and equipment improved, then they went into red and white winemaking. And that's the main focus in this region.
And what varieties did they start with? Were they smart enough when they started to use the Italian varieties, or was it your Chardonnays?
It was typically Shiraz, Cabernet and Chardonnay. They were the main drivers. Sultana, of course, was sort of used for the bulk wine, neutral bag-in-box products.
Yeah.
But then more and more Shiraz and Chardonnay were planted through the 70s and 80s. And they're still they are still major varieties in this region, and they always will be in Australia because they're important varieties for our country.
And it's what we're well known for too.
That's right. Yeah.
And but I think that, like you said, picking the right vines or fruit for
Yes.
the actual climate,
Yes.
it's going to make a massive difference.
Absolutely, and you know, the cool climates have done this many years ago.
Yeah.
They have worked out now where to grow Pinot Noir, for example, and make the best Pinot Noir. So Adelaide Hills, Tasmania, Yarra Valley, southern areas.
Leading the way by a mile,
and
aren't they?
beautiful, whereas our area is too hot for Pinot Noir, so it's unsuitable.
Which happens to be
here.
my favourite.
Yeah.
So-
Well, it's a lovely style of wine. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's an easy drinker, which, mind you, this is a really easy drinker.
Yeah, it's
And crisp, fresh, and very little aftertaste is what I would say too.
It's a very
kind of
clean
fruity.
style,
Yeah.
a very clean finish on the palate. And the other thing I really am pleased about with the industry at the moment is consumers are getting more diversity in there with these newer varieties that are coming through. And it's not only in the inland regions which are trying new varieties, it's all regions which are, you know, experimenting with different things. So
Which it can only make it better.
we'll have some beautiful styles coming through.
Yeah.
within the next,
So the
in
future of the
next 10
Riverland,
years.
you think, is
Yeah, look, Shiraz, Cabernet and Chardonnay mixed with some of these beautiful new varieties, European varieties which suit our climate.
Yeah.
And they're the ones which will really excite the consumer and which the consumer will get their bang for buck out of, if I can use a really crude phrase.
no, go for it.
They'll enjoy some of the new stuff that is coming out.
And how long does it take to introduce a new variety in the Riverland?
That's a really good question, Nathan. I worked for Brown Brothers years ago, and they're really heavily into establishing new varietals in Victoria. Brown Brothers, of course, are situated at Millawa in the King Valley of Victoria. And they always had a saying, from when you first get interested in a variety to when you get it commercially established in the marketplace is 15 years. So it's not a short time. It takes time to grow the vines, make some trial wines, find varieties which excite you with these little trial batches.
Yep.
And then you might plant half an acre and trial it with barrel treatment, oak treatment, or whatever you want to do in the winery. And then if that's successful, then you'll ramp that production up so that it becomes commercially viable. So 10 to 15 years. So it's always a lot of time, effort and investment that goes into something like that.
And probably a certain amount of risk as well.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're not a risk taker, then you never make anything.
That's exactly right. All right, so I must say, what a great wine to start with.
Yeah, that
And,
was really refreshing, actually.
it was.
After a hard day's work.
Yeah, well, speak for yourself. But, it actually is extremely difficult doing this job. And there's not many people who could do it.
Yeah,
Just
so
talking and
I
drinking and
pine for
eating.
you.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
It's really difficult, isn't it? All right, so we'll go on to and just finish this off and eat a bit more chicken, and then we'll go on to wine too.
Yep, no worries.
All right, so we're going to jump straight onto wine too, and if I can get the label right. So and obviously we're going from Italy to Spain.
We are.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And what variety are we having?
It's Tempranillo, so a variety that's grown all around Spain and also in Portugal. In Portugal, they know the variety as Tinta-Roriz. It's an important variety for their port production in Portugal. But in Spain, they make a whole range of beautiful red wine styles out of Tempranillo. And they'll also blend other lesser varieties in there to make wonderful styles.
Yeah.
It's a wine. Ours is quite a reserva style. Our reserve Tempranillo.
Yeah.
So it's quite rich. It's got those dark cherry, earthy characters, almost cherry ripe characters.
It actually looks quite dark.
Yeah, it's quite intense in colour, and this style of Tempranillo has quite a big palate, so it's got lots of tannin in there, but it's perfect to match with roasted meats, slow cooks, hot chili flavoured food, or tapas style food.
Right.
So
it obviously go well with the Spanish tapas style
yeah,
food.
yeah, that's right, absolutely.
That's what they'd probably be having it with.
Yep. We love Tempranillo. It's suited to this region. Handles hot days in the summertime really well. The fruit doesn't burn, and yet we can bring it into the winery and make these wonderful, rich styles out of it.
I'm really intrigued to taste it. I can actually smell the fruit in it, which is...
Yeah, we give it some aged older American and French oak.
Yeah.
So
it's
oak
a
is sort of
process.
a background sort of artefact. But it always has this rich dark cherry character, our reserve Tempranillo.
Definitely...
It's firm, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that...
I was expecting
palate
it to be a lot
structure.
lighter.
Yeah, we make a light style also called
Okay.
Ella's Tempranillo, which is a beautiful lunch wine. It's just like perhaps a rosé or a richer rosé,
Okay.
but it's also a great lunch style where you don't want something heavy,
Yeah.
just something easy to drink for lunch. Yeah, but this is a serious wine to enjoy with serious food
Right.
in serious company.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure you got the serious company there, but from when we're talking serious food, what are we talking about pairing with it?
I love Tempranillo with richer red meat foods,
Yeah.
ossobuco, roasted meats, particularly roast beef or lamb. It also goes well with Asian food with chili in it, so you can have a beautiful Thai stir fry or such, and if it's got heat in it from chili, it'll go with Tempranillo also.
Oh, we've got an amazing Thai restaurant not far from our office,
Right.
with authentic Thai lady running it,
Whereabouts?
just on Golfview Road at Christie's Beach.
Oh, right.
Sunisa's Thai, I may as well give her a plug.
Yes,
Well, we go there
yeah,
quite often for lunch,
yeah.
so we might have to give her a little plug.
Cult or original or good Thai food always amazes me in that they marry all the spices and the flavours in together to give this orchestral event, and it's just beautiful food. It really
Yeah,
is.
and everything's got to be fresh.
Yes,
And
right.
you can taste the difference in the food because they make it all, they grow a lot of it themselves as well, a lot of the
Right, yes,
vegetables.
yes,
and
yes.
if it's not fresh, she won't make it.
Yes,
So,
yeah. And that's the secret of good food. too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good ingredients.
Oh, yeah. And nice people too.
Yeah.
That makes a big
Yeah.
difference. She's a
Well,
nice
they are.
lady.
Thai people are friendly people
Yeah.
on the whole, and that's near Christie's Beach.
Yeah.
Need to get that name of that restaurant because
Yeah.
we'll look it up.
Well, Sunisa's Thai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll,
yeah.
we'll put a little plug for them in there, and
Yeah.
maybe a link to their
Yeah,
restaurant.
we're down in Adelaide next week. So,
Oh, yeah, wow.
we might
You have to
go
come and see
round.
us. We'll
Yeah.
go for lunch. Bring some,
Tempranillo.
yeah, bring some of your wine, and we might even get a free lunch. You never know. So let's grab the food pairing and have a crack.
Yeah, good.
So what are we going to pair with it?
Today we've got a bit of a treat. One of our favourite red meat courses is slow cooked brisket, and we found an American recipe on the web probably a year ago or so, where you
Jenny, come on.
prepare a rub and put it on the brisket, and then you put it back in the fridge for the night. Next day it gets slow cooked in quite a spicy sauce, which has got pepper, mustard, cayenne, Worcester, tomato paste, whole range of things there to give it richness, depth, and also a lot of spice and heat. And we'll try it out with the Tempranillo. It's just a beautiful dish to enjoy, particularly in the cooler weather. Quite a rich dish.
I'm not a waitress, so I'm not doing it the right
No,
way
it's
around.
all right. We're not a food show, even though I think we probably should be. With
Fresh
the amount of
sourdough.
effort you've gone to here.
Fresh sourdough.
Did you make the bread?
Yes.
You made the bread as well.
Yeah, Jenny has a sourdough culture, and she's perfected the technique of making sourdough. We did a bread making course with Matt McNamara from the Barossa some years ago. So it was a 2-day course, and we made a whole range of breads, flatbreads, pizza dough, German cake, real croissants, where you prepare the croissant dough, laminated dough, I'll call it dough, the day before. It goes in the fridge, then you roll it out and laminate it again the following day, and then cook it. And they are the best croissants I've ever had.
Do you have them
really
for breakfast
nice.
often?
Not for a while, but occasionally we'll have croissants
Tomorrow?
for breakfast. Well, we haven't got any
Oh,
handmade ones
well,
at the moment.
it was worth a try, wasn't it? That sounded so good.
It's
not that
something
we were
we have to
inviting
try.
ourselves. But, so now you've talked it up so
Anyway,
much, I'm going to have to try some of this bread.
Yeah, so slow-cooked brisket, an American recipe, but a lovely recipe.
And the spice really complements the wine?
It does, and it goes into the meat, goes through the meat, and the Tempranillo should really be a good match with it.
You're a bit excited then?
I could be, may as well be MasterChef.
Yeah.
This is Riverland Chef.
Riverland Chef.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm almost lost for words, which never ever happens.
I love the way the Tempranillo cuts across the richness of the meat.
Yeah.
And it cleanses all that meat flavour and the richness of the meat off your palate, and you're left with this nice clean palate.
Yeah, and you know what it also does? I didn't taste the tannins anywhere near as much.
Yeah.
Once I had a massive mouthful of meat.
That's right, and the Spaniards typically would enjoy with their Tempranillos with food. It really is a food-friendly wine.
I can't get over how much bolder, heavier it actually is, because the other ones I've tasted have been really light.
In Australia, we tend to have two styles. A lot of winemakers will make the lighter style,
Yeah.
and then some like us now are making this richer reserva style too now, which again has a place in the industry.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, Tempranillo is a very flexible variety. You can make a whole range of things out of it.
Yeah.
So, but I love this. I love this with the meat. It's a good match.
And what about in the winery? Is it does it need a lot of love? Or is it set and
Tempranillo, we actually did a really interesting trial a few years ago where we started picking a block of fruit a little unripe. Every week we picked a batch of fruit and made wine out of that batch. So we started off a bit unripe at about 13 and a half Beaumay, and then picked one at about 14 Beaumay, 14 and a half, and then 15 or 15 and a half Beaumay. And then we invited our cellar door list customers to, if they want to have a bit of fun, come and have a blending day. So we had about 30 people here making up various blends, and what we found out of all of that was if we mixed all of those batches together, blended them together, we ended up with a better result than just picking on one day, picking the whole crop on one day. So now we tend to pick Tempranillo over 2 or 3 different dates. We'll start a little less ripe, pick in the middle when it's about right, and then perhaps even get it when it's a bit not overripe, but getting those big, rich berry flavours,
So better
and then blending it together.
And what are we talking about? Is in days apart, or
About a week apart. Each one, and it makes a far better wine. It's a more balanced style.
and you just learn that from trial and error?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Trial
or is
and
that
error, and just trying, something different.
Yeah.
And by involving our cellar door customers, they got a real hoot out of that. They just had a really fun day, enjoyable day. They learnt about the variety, but they also had fun putting their blends together, and then we all worked together to work out what was the best style that we enjoyed drinking on the day. So Tempranillo is, it can be serious, it can be fun, it can be flexible, it can be easy drinking, or it can be serious drinking, So,
this is definitely a serious drinking.
yeah.
I'm getting a bit serious about
Well,
it.
serious company
Yes,
too.
it is.
Nathan.
Now it is.
Yeah.
No, so where do people get your wines from? Well, this is I'll just ask this question because we love to flash a slide up so people can know where to buy your wines from.
They can come to Cellar Door.
Yeah.
A good way to get our wines, or an easy way, is to buy online.
Yeah.
So go to our website, just 919wines, www.com.au.
Yeah. Maybe three W's.com.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
919.com.au.
or www. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, A lot of people just order online. We get notified, send them out with Australia Post.
Yeah.
They're also available in Hutt Street cellars, Edinburgh and Bel Air cellars in Adelaide. Or come and have a fun experience at Cellar Door on the weekends or when you're up here on a break. Or
They're not going to get cooked brisket like me, though, are they?
It depends. If you come back, we'd consider it.
I'll be coming back. Don't worry about that.
But you've got to do our marketing and bring some friends with you.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's easy.
That's something that works really well in our business. If people have a good experience, they go away and talk about your business and your products.
Oh, they do.
And then they bring people into you.
Yeah. Oh, I would have no hesitation to bringing people here.
Yeah, so that works really well.
Especially if you're sitting out here in this environment and eating slow cooked brisket and
with sourdough.
With homemade sourdough. And then can they stay the night and have a croissant? Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that was great. Perfect pairing.
Yeah.
Done real well, Jenny.
That worked well.
Yeah, I've done real well. Yeah. So, Eric, I've been waiting. Yeah. You've outdone yourself already.
I've been waiting.
You've outdone yourself already, but everybody I've seen in the Riverland is talking up your Fortified.
Right.
So we've got to get into it. We've got to get into it. Tell us the story about the Fortified.
It's something we have a passion for, and I've always personally had a passion for. Fortifieds. Fortifieds there are many different styles, and just like table wines, they are delightful wines to enjoy. And we are blessed in the Riverland in that this is a good climate to grow the varieties that make these blends. So we do a white port, a ruby, a Tawny, which we are tasting
Sampling
today.
now, yeah.
Yep. And we also have Topake, which is Australian Tokay, and also Muscat. These wines are hidden gems, I guess, in some respects. They are full of flavour, full of complexity. They are suited to food. We're going to enjoy the Tawny with a little cheese platter that Jenny has prepared. And our Tawny is a classic style. Now, classic means that it has an average age of between 5 and 10 years.
Yeah.
If you see a grand Fortified, it means the average age of that blend is between 10 and 15. If you see a rare Fortified, it's 15 years or older, the blend age.
Right.
So this is about 8 years old, so we've got some of those nice, nutty, spicy, sort of honeyed characters developing, along with red fruit, freshness of brandy spirit that is selected for these components. This style is blended from about 6 different varieties of various years, and that's a part of the winemaking process I really enjoy, because you line up all of the components on the bench, and you have to put a selection of those components together a bit like an orchestral event, so that you get a really good blend at the end of that blending
orchestral
sequence.
event.
Yeah, well, the sum of them doesn't equal...
I just loved it. I just loved it. It's a great way of describing it.
It should be like a number of instruments playing together, so you end up with a lovely balanced style at the end.
I can smell
and
brandy.
this is a style that's really well suited to fruit and cheese platters, or having a drink at the end of the night before you retire.
What about with a strong Turkish coffee?
Strong Turkish coffee goes well with chocolate. Chocolate is health food because it comes off a tree, so it must be good for you.
It must be good. So the wine's definitely good for you then?
Yeah, absolutely.
It has to be. It comes off a vine.
It's prescribed.
Yes. Oh, wow.
I must say, and you can edit this out if you like, but
As soon as you say that, we don't.
a few years ago, I had shingles back in 2015, which is a terrible disease. Never get it. No, it's all gone now. You're safe.
Right.
And when I went into my GP to be diagnosed, I said, "Can I still enjoy some alcohol?" And Dr. Pennis said, "Alcohol is prescribed."
Oh,
They were his exact words.
what a great GP.
Yeah, but he's retired now, so I can't get sick anymore.
Oh, wow. Well, you've got your prescription. You should be fine.
But,
So, Holly?
So it's just a wonderful wine, which is made from various varieties, port varieties. and then the blending brings all of those varieties and ages together into something that's very drinkable.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely delicious.
The beauty, Nathan, is that younger people are discovering these styles as well and enjoying them. They're not just old people's drinks.
No.
People shouldn't think that. Fortifieds are just as suited to having a dinner party as what red wines or white wines or sparkling wines are. So we've had dinner parties where every course is matched with a Fortified. And they are really good dinner parties,
No doubt.
particularly by the end of the night.
Yeah, especially with this Fortified. So you touched on, you make, obviously this is your Tawny, but you make other Fortifieds as well.
Yeah, it's
White
something...
Fortifieds intrigue me.
White.
Yeah.
Okay, so we make a white port, which is called Lambada. We're not allowed to use the term port on our labelling anymore because of the EU trade agreement. But we have our Lambada style, which is basically made from Palomino and Muscadel grapes. Muscadel is the little white grape we use to make Topake, which used to be called Tokay in Australia. That's a new term for Tokay. So the white port or Lambada is a lovely caramelised, slightly peachy style. And a lot of young people actually that like a sweet wine. We don't have sweet table wines, but if they like a sweet wine, they'll take a Lambada home because it's got that sweetness, but it finishes dry. The Ruby is just a fresh berry-driven style made from Shiraz. Very young, no ageing whatsoever. Our Tawny, of course, the components get put into old barrels. Some of our barrels are 80 and 90 years old, and the colour tawnies off to this lovely tawny colour, and then it's blended up out of these different barrel groups. We make a Topake, which is Australian Tokay, so that has lovely butterscotch, toffee, malt aromas, also with fig and honey and date characters. And then we have our muscat. Now, some years ago, I went to a lot of trouble to get 2 live muscat cuttings across from Rutherglen brown muscat, because that makes the best muscat in Australia. And bringing it into South Australia, we had to go through quarantine procedures, which took 2 years.
2 years.
To make sure there was no phylloxera or disease in those vines to bring into South Australia. And from that, we've got 1.5 acres planted up now that we make our muscat style from. Our muscat style is traditionally sweet, very muscat, rose and floral driven, but with real deep Christmas cake characters. So that's a style that people also really enjoy.
Awesome. It's been such an education.
Oh, well, we're just really fortunate in that we can produce so many different styles in this region. So we're going to have whites, reds, sparkling, fortified. If we're in Tasmania, we may just be limited to Cabernet, Chardonnay and Pinot. But again, they make beautiful styles out of those varieties down there too. But the Riverland has flexibility, and as we said right at the start, there's a lot of these newer varieties being trialled and being brought through commercially too now for consumers to enjoy.
And what we're going to pair with it? What is Jenny organised?
I believe Jenny has a little cheese platter, and dried fruit platter organised for us.
Awesome.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I've also got a free recipe book for your viewers.
Oh, a free recipe book.
Yes. Yeah, that could be enticing.
That could be. Well, after what we've been sampling, I'm pretty sure that
So this is local dried fruit.
Yeah.
From Singing Magpie, Almond Co. almonds.
Yeah.
So these are 2 really big industries in the Riverland. The cheese, I'm afraid, is not from here because we don't have.
Well, there's no dairy.
Industry.
Yeah, we learned
Exactly.
that earlier. There's no dairy around.
right.
So
So huge.
So what's the fruit, Jenny?
So we've got Smyrna figs, quince, what is it? There's a peach and an apricot, and you've got a pear. So
Okay.
wow,
Beautiful.
awesome little spread.
Enjoy.
All right, let's have a little crack. I'm going to go straight for some cheese.
Cheese is one of our favourite cheeses.
Yeah.
It's Merseyvale from Tasmania. Cheddar.
The deafening silence means that we're both very intrigued for the taste we're going to get here. Oh, absolutely perfect. Very spoilt with the produce you've got around here.
We are. South Australian regions, I think in general, many of them have beautiful produce. You know, you've got the seafood from Port Lincoln, and you've got lamb and beef from down south in the southeast, Mount Gambier.
Yeah.
We've got a whole range of particularly fruit type products from the Riverland and wine, and Clare's good for Riesling.
Yes.
Some of our favourite Rieslings come out of Clare.
Yes, Clare. We haven't been to the Clare Valley yet. Well, it's on our to-do list.
Yeah.
As, after we've been to the Coonawarra, and then via the Barossa.
Yeah.
And then, you never know, we might even, once COVID's finished, we might even branch out and go and visit. We might have to change our logo, but we might go visit the Victorians.
No, leave the logo the same.
Yeah, rub it in.
Yeah, and show them some good, South Australian culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
But, no, the Clare's a beautiful area too. Great for food and wine.
Yeah.
A very agricultural region as well. Jenny and I spent some time over there just to have a bit of time out. I think that was back in July, 3 nights across there. And we had a really interesting time. And, yeah, just love going to some of Mr. Mix, and the Auburn, the Rising Sun Hotel at Auburn has good food. And,
yeah.
Yeah, and
Some cracking wineries out there too.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So, what'd you think of the cheese with the Tawny?
Oh, I thought it was an unbelievable. Jenny's just outdone herself, hasn't she, with the pairings?
We're spoiled.
Yeah, we are very, very.
It'll be
spoiled.
hard to have Maccas again.
Oh, we don't need to.
And it's so simple as well.
Yeah, well, you don't. Yeah, but the quality of the fruit as well, and obviously the quality of the Tawny, just went absolutely perfectly with the cheese, and probably some of the best almonds you could ever have. So
That's right. Our almonds, Almond Co. have very fresh almond products, and they've got a whole range of almonds there as well, from hot and spicy to smoked to plain and all that sort of thing. So, we're pretty spoiled with food in the region. But yeah, the Tawny is always great with a little fruit and cheese platter at the end of a meal.
So I want to say thanks heaps for coming on the show.
That's all right.
It was
Pleasure.
it was my pleasure coming here, being fed some amazing food, trying some amazing wines, getting a history and educational lesson at the same time.
Yes.
Absolute pleasure of ours, and the Riverland has got many a secret that we're telling.
Yes.
The whole reason we're
That's
here
right.
is to tell the world.
Yeah. And that's the good thing about your film group, in that you can show people what is really out in the regions.
Yeah.
And talk to the people who are involved in producing the different products or doing the different things, or involved in different tourism aspects or whatever. And people find that really interesting.
Someone extremely smart, a lot smarter than me, told me that there's a lot more that goes into the bottle
Yes.
than fruit.
Yes.
It's the people, it's the hard work, it's the vineyard,
the passion, I guess.
And that's what our show's about, is bringing that out.
Yeah.
And you've been an exceptional guest. And Jenny, even though she didn't want to come on, has done a great job.
Yeah.
She has done a great job with her food pairings and the brisket. Oh.
Yeah. We'll have to have that. We'll have to meet again.
We'll have to meet again for croissants and brisket, I think. So stay tuned, 8 o'clock next Wednesday night, Facebook, for another Riverland show. And we've got something very, very special indeed. I don't think it can get any better.
No, someone's got to do it.
You know what it is, though? It's just varying levels of good.
Yes, that's
We
right.
say that about McLaren Vale. I'm going to bring that to the Riverland as well.
Yeah,
It's just varying different levels of good.
That's right.
And we're lucky to be South Australian.
We are, absolutely. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Good on you. Yeah.